All right, going live in three, two, one. Well, this is the Working Title Experience episode number 23, I think. I think it's 23. We have Chardonnay on again. How are you doing, Chardonnay?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Are you looking good? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So how's the last time we spoke, you were like getting torrential downpours and you couldn't do the show.
Yeah, Texas went through this period of what was a month-long rainfall.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen it happen before as long as I've been out here. So I don't know what to make of it. And it's been like really cool so far. Well, like cool temperatured. Um, like during the summer, like it's just now getting to 90 degrees.
Oh, and with all that rain, I bet there's a lot of humidity too, right?
Yeah, and for like those of you who don't know, in Texas, it easily gets to 110 in the summer.
Oh my goodness. And you have the humidity combined with that. That's gotta be, ooh, goodness. That must be really awful. Wow.
Yeah, I'll be drinking nitrogen for like the next few months. Yeah.
Wow. So is it still, you said month long rain. Is it still raining now?
No, it hasn't. It's it's been 4 days since our last rainfall.
4 days? No, maybe is that you mean 4 days ago you were actually getting that was the end of the month long rain? Were you
I
still?
think so. I hope so. I had a lot of events that were getting rained out. It was awful. My street in particular kept getting flooded.
Mm,
Um, so I'm not a bad driver, but I can't I can't perform to the peak of my driving ability in the rain, you know?
uh-huh.
So so I was doing a lot of walking in the rain.
The looks like you uh-oh. I think are you still there? I think we lost a connection there. Let's see there. Uh If you can hear me, Chardonnay, I don't. I'm not. It looks like we got a frozen image here. So we're gonna have to. Let's see. We're gonna put the show on temporary hold right here. Give us a second while we check this out. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. In the meantime, I will play a video of Ancient Aliens Debunked. So you can. This is something we're going to discuss on our show this evening. So I'll get that started here for you. Hi there.
Hi.
We're live, so I just want to let you know what I was doing was until you came back on, I went ahead and started the debunking ancient aliens video, so there wouldn't be any dead air or dead silence there. So
Awesome. No,
so
that was very cinematic. It cut off when you were like, Chardonnay, if you can hear this, and then the whole thing just went down.
goodness. So
I was like, no.
okay, so where we left off, you were talking about the rain as
Yeah, it was raining for a really long time out here. Um, it made everything impossible. I was alluding to a story with how I slipped in the street because the rushing water, and I slipped in front of all my friends.
hmm,
But I don't know, the story was lost in the moment.
oh well.
Yeah.
Let me guess. When the rain stopped, was there a lot of celebrating out were people cheering?
Yeah, basically, everyone's been completely out of their house ever since. So
Oh, that's funny. I got to guess that maybe a lot of people were out even during the rain because they eventually they're gonna get tired of not being able to go out. So there probably have people on the rain too, weren't there?
not too many.
Really?
Things kept getting shut down. And it was really bad rain. Like it wasn't like a few days of like light drizzle. It was several days of just storms.
Oh my goodness,
Mhm.
that must have been awful. I mean, I hope it's over for you. For hopefully it doesn't return. Is you so how long have you been in Texas? Has this been is this a reoccurring thing? I know you said yeah.
No, this in particular has never happened. And I've been in Texas for like several years.
Oh my goodness, that's
Hmm.
interesting. So. Well, as long as you're okay, that's the good thing. So,
I'm fine. But I don't know. Our connections have not been the same ever since. It's been wild. It's been a crazy year for Texas and its weather, honestly,
oh
between this and the snow.
yeah, yeah, the whole freezing thing. Yeah, my goodness.
Mhm.
So, and so maybe it's just the aliens. Since we're talking about aliens, maybe they're sabotaging our connection here.
Probably the aliens. Yeah.
So, you want to talk about last week? Look at last week's question that we discussed, or last show we had. Sorry, let's see. You ready? Uh-oh, I think we lost Chardonnay again. Yeah, we lost Chardonnay. We'll have to wait till she gets her connection back. So we'll come. Let me. Until that happens, I will go ahead and let the video play for Ancient Aliens Debunked. And once Chardonnay comes back on, we'll go ahead and uh, come back to the show. Here we go. You a quick Hi there.
Hi.
Let's go and bring this back down. Everyone was just watching the Ancient Aliens Debunked video. So,
I'm convinced that this is the aliens keeping me from having this episode.
do you think that's going to be happening periodically, every so often, I guess?
Um, I have no idea because on my end it says the connection is fine.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
All right.
And it just keeps reconnecting.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can continue on, and hopefully we won't have that kind of an issue anymore. So hopefully.
Hmm.
Okay. So we want to check out the last show's question.
Hmm.
Okay, let's bring that up here. Here we go. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so what is your battle weapon of choice? And this we got 4,500 votes altogether. Magic wins it at 62%, and that wouldn't really surprise me. I think that's where it was when we left off last week too. I think it was in the lead.
Yeah, people are magic users. That's awesome.
I would have. My guess, my vote would have been first. I'm not sure. Maybe ballistic. That's probably what I would have gone with. Magic would have been the least one I would have thought of as far as that, I guess, because it's more fantasy like. So the other ones have a more realistic quality to them.
You don't play fantasy games?
What's that?
You don't play fantasy games?
Yeah, most of the games I play are more reality type games, like the Grand Theft Auto games. They're based more in a real world. So no magic, I should say, is what I mean by that. So most of the Rockstar games, in fact, I haven't played hardly any I can think of. I played there was a game from way long ago called Adventure that had dragons, but
Mhm.
I don't think it had any magic. It had a sword. So but it was very basic in because it looks like it's very two-dimensional and very I guess you can almost say archaic based on modern video game styles. I'm trying to think of any other games I played that might have had magic. I played a game, Bruce Lee, the fighter Bruce Lee.
Mhm.
There was a video game that was named after him, and I played that, and he had some sort of power in the game. I can't remember what it was. So that was another like side scroller. So I guess you could count that as magic, but I don't remember how that worked exactly because it's been a long time since I played that.
I I don't think that counts. I've never met a person who hasn't played a fantasy game in their life. You might be an alien,
Perhaps I am.
perhaps.
Don't tell anybody.
I don't think I have to. Has anyone on here ever seen his face? Do we
Actually,
know?
there's actually a video of me on of my face. So yes, they have.
Oh darn, boo.
So let's see, we got 17% ballistic, 7%, 10% after that with blade. I don't care. 7% with blade and a 5% with me. I always mispronounce this melee or melee. I always mispronounce. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's the least one. And I could see that because that you have to be within pretty close proximity to do that most of the time. I mean, you could throw it as well, but then you lose your weapon after that.
Hmm.
So let's take a look here at the results. Let me make sure they're doing newest first. Yes, there we go. Tony Ferguson from Rio. I'm not sure what that means. Do you know what he means by that?
Nope.
Liberals. We got a political comment. Not sure. We're going with that. Adil says magical sword. There we go. That's another one for magic. Kind of. I mean, it's actually combining two, actually. So he's combining the magic and a blade. So he would fall into two categories with that. So blade, because I like the Elder Scrolls. I almost bought the Elder Scrolls. Have you played that?
I am obsessed with the Elder Scrolls.
So you would say you would highly recommend that, I assume then.
Highly recommend it. Yeah, it's taken many hours of my life, so I can't really speak against it, but I do genuinely love it.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll eventually go out and buy it. I'm afraid if I buy it though, I won't have time and it'll just sit there like some of the other games I bought, which I never got around to playing. So, but
I don't if you start playing it, it'll be so hard to stop playing it.
really. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
It's super addictive, huh?
Yeah, highly.
Okay. Well, next one we got from Min says, "Never mind. Magic is legendary," with a reply saying, "Haha," with a heart and a laughter. So Next one down, utilizer. I can't pronounce it. Utilizator. I can't. It depends. How can you use ballistic for short range fights without damaging yourself? Also, I consider magic option to be vague. Magic of what? The magic of what? The what abilities offer that magic? That's actually that's a good question because magic is usually when you're playing a game or watching a movie with magic, it's whatever the creators or developers want the magic to be. So it's defined by their parameters. So um, it's as long as they establish a set of rules on how the magic
Mhm.
works, it can come across as being believable too. So sometimes unfortunately, there are there are writers out there that use magic just to move the plot forward, which is, in my opinion, bad writing. But as long as the magic is done well, and you know what the parameters are when you establish the story or the video game, he's got a good question there. You need to know. Essentially, what I'm picking up from that is you need to know what those parameters are and how you could do that, how that would how what you would have how that would benefit you, I guess you could say, based on that.
Mhm.
So, Kiss Best Fan, who's a regular contributor, says fists. Um, Zafran says mind, and one quote with a ooh after that. Let's see. Brian says if you go ballistic in battle, you'll be invincible with rage. Nobody can kill you, and you'll lose, and you'll a human. Oh wait a minute. Can kill you, and you're a human killing machine. I guess you'll be a human killing machine. I guess so. Uh,
Someone's enthusiastic about ballistics.
yes. So, okay. Next one down. The monster says knife. Brandon P says minigun. So, and is it Gerardo or Gerardo says black magic with a CK with a K at the end. So
Mhm.
another vote for magic. So I'm not like I said, magic is obviously going to be more obviously very fantasy. So I would have picked something else more like ballistic, and you would I assumed would have gone with magic, right? Did you say that already?
Yeah, yeah. I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, so
So you talk about
I always choose magic now. Hmm?
the board game version or the video? What version of Dungeons and Dragons did you play?
I play, well, yeah, the board game edition. Even though now it's less of a board game situation, more of like a monster manual, and everyone just keeps track of everything situation.
I don't. Oh, okay. Is there a video game version of the game? That's why I wasn't sure. That's why I said that. So I wasn't.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I figured there was. Okay, so all right. Have you played? So how many different? I never got into that though. When I was a kid, my dad bought the Dungeons and Dragons game, and we never just got around to playing it. So it just kind of sat in the box, unfortunately. So, uh,
Mhm.
is it fun?
No, it's so much fun. The board games, the original board games, are a lot more math, I think. But me and my friends in college, we just have like we all collectively had a bunch of monster manuals and gameplay books. So as long as you have a good dungeon master, you don't need anything.
Okay, okay. As I'll ask you a similar question like I asked before. Would you recommend it, the board version, for someone who has never played it? Is it still hold up? Does it hold up today?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, it's not for. I don't think it's for people who like can't play pretend. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I definitely could try. Yeah, even though I wouldn't have voted for Magic, I could definitely give anything a try that has Magic. So,
Hmm.
what other games would you say that? Obviously, we talked about the Elder Scrolls. Anything else? Any other Magic games for you?
Diablo. I was a huge fan of the Diablo games and the Fable games.
Mm.
And I haven't finished all of the Dark Souls games, but they are easily some of my favorite games. They're just impossible to play. Those games are poison. They're very, very, very hard.
I gotta ask you when you talk about Diablo, how about that whole Diablo controversy from what was that, a year or two ago? It must have been like 2 years ago now, at least.
What Diablo controversy?
They were releasing a new Diablo game, and it turned out it was just going to be it was a reskinned version of another game, and it was just going to be on mobile only. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh, it was a big controversy. Yeah, they were making a big Diablo announcement, and there was like it turned out that they had a big uh, press meeting, and the developers of the game were up on stage, and they're saying this is going to be the best game ever. And then when the game came out, they showed that when they actually showed like video of it, it turned out it was just a mobile game. And not only was it only just a mobile game, but it was just a reskinned version of another game that they just called Diablo. So it was another game that already came out before. They were just calling this. They were just repackaging it and calling it Diablo. So,
That's terrible.
and it made a lot of people upset. It was a major controversy. So it was pretty funny. Like even the people in the audience, when they came up and asked questions, they were like, one of the people, I don't remember who he was, but he came up and said, they said we have time for questions. He came up to the microphone and said, "Is this a joke?" And everyone applauded. So check out the Diablo controversy. I'm sure if you type in Diablo failure or something,
Diablo failure.
yeah, it was I'm not I've never played the game, but I know of the game. But yeah, I could tell just by watching all the videos that came out of it. It was clearly, disrespectful to the fans, really disrespectful. So they received a lot of heat. I forget the company who makes it, but they got a lot of negative feedback on that. So I'm not even sure if they actually released the game either. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I do know that the original announcement was like really, everyone hated it. Everyone was just really angered by it. So yeah, we give it a check sometime. Yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. So
Yeah, I will. I'll have to.
so
I don't know how I would have missed that, but that's kind of hilarious.
yeah. So do you have a question that you'd like to ask for this week?
Um, I was trying to think of like an alien related question. Um, can we just do like a yes or no poll?
Yeah, sure,
Can I?
absolutely.
Yeah, can we see what percentage of viewers believe in aliens?
Okay, let me go over here. We've asked this, not you and I, but we already asked a question that was similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make it a little bit worded a little bit different, so it's not exactly the same. Uh,
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, we have one right here. It says, "Do you think alien life exists?" So there was I don't want to make it sound too similar to that. So how about something to the effect, do you think aliens have visited Earth maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Right.
that'll be more different, because that was that was less specific, but this one will be more specific. Okay. Do you think aliens uh, have visited Earth? Let me proofread this because I am not. So I type these things, I make mistakes, and I can't go back and correct them. Do you think aliens have visited Earth? Okay. Does that look good? Chardonnay? Uh-oh, Chardonnay. I think we lost Chardonnay. Yep. Oh, there
Okay.
we are. Are you there? There we are.
See, they're cutting off my Wi-Fi anytime I ask this question.
The image froze with your face. It looked like you were meditating for a minute there. So, so,
That's really funny.
so
um,
so we got, do you think aliens have visited Earth? I got yes, no. Uh
mhm,
let's see. Nice. We can put down I am an alien.
yeah.
Let's put this in here. And the usual I don't care response usually is pretty good. Okay. Anything, we can put one more, we can just leave it like that. What do you think?
I like it.
Like, okay, cool. So let me
Yeah.
write, do you think aliens have visited Earth? Good. Yes, no, I'm an alien and I don't care. Um, okay. All right, cool. We'll post that and we'll come back to that. All right. So we'll come back. Yeah, we'll leave that up there. Let me see where we're at here. Yeah. Actually, let me bring it up over here. There we go. And 11 seconds in, no votes yet. So we'll come back to that. Okay, cool. So with this week, we wanted to talk about what, well, you and I talked about Lloyd Pye, right?
Mhm.
And you want to talk about the crystal skull, or the controversy? I don't know if you call it a controversy, but about the crystal skulls. So Tell me, you told me that you encountered, now Lloyd Pye, for those who don't know, is the man who was very adamant about, now he's been dead for a little while, so, but he was very adamant about the idea that the crystal skull was, oh no, not the crystal, not the crystal skull. Was it the crystal? It was
It was the elongated child skull.
that's right. Sorry, it wasn't the crystal. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else. I got that confused.
Indiana Jones, I think. I think I might have said crystal skull earlier.
Yeah, he was. It was a child skull. It was 11-year-old girl. It was like about, what was it, from the like 700 or 900 AD? Is that correct?
Mhm.
I
Yes.
don't remember exactly when, but okay. And what did he call the Star Child? That's what it was called, the Star Child. So
Yes.
so the I'm sorry, looking at the questions, see what's going on. People are just commenting. Nothing, no questions yet. They're just saying hi. So hi everybody. So,
Hi.
so the Star Child skull. Let me see if I can bring an image up of the Star Child. Give me 1 second, so everyone can see what we're talking about here. And we should be able to find this. Yes. Oh yeah, we got right here. And bring it up to the thing. In fact, we got a picture of Lloyd Pye himself as the top one. So this is the Star Child skull. Let me see if I can find a good picture of it. Let me see. I don't think this is, I don't know if this is get a copyright or not, so you gotta be careful when you play this. Basically, I don't remember the background on this. Do you remember what the background is of where he got the skull?
I don't fully recall the background of the skull. I know it was just sparked this whole debate about elongated skulls, and he tried to connect it to elongated skulls throughout several civilizations throughout history. And the whole thing is that it's a really common occurrence, but it's believed to be because of like relations to alien predecessors.
Right. Now,
Um,
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying when it could easily be a deformality.
Okay, so you're not, so basically from what you've watched about this, you don't actually believe that this is a necessarily an alien, then, is what you're saying. Do you have any, do you think at all that it might be an alien life form? Now let me, before you answer that, what I remember is Lloyd Pye, who was really adamant about this, believed there was a crossbreed between alien and human DNA. That's what I remember. Do you believe that?
Not really. I'm
Okay.
not saying I'm not saying it's impossible, but like in the initial olden days of civilization, there were like 9 different species of humans. So like,
Well, yeah, of hominids is what you mean, not like the Neanderthals and the other
yeah.
ones. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and basically I've watched his videos, and I'm trying to find it. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. Maybe this will have a good one on you. Okay, there we go. So here you can get a good look at what the skull looks like. Now I've not studied this. One of the problems I've heard that people, there we go. That's a good shot of it right there. Perfect.
Mhm.
One of the problems I've had is when I've heard about this skull is that, aside from the fact that it's kind of creepy that you're walking around with the skull of a dead 11-year-old girl all the time, which it doesn't seem very respectful for her. Aside from that, the he doesn't allow people to actually examine the skull.
Mhm.
And that's that's a very lacking of understanding of how science works. So the basic understanding of science is you're always trying to disprove something. You want to try to prove it. You're always trying to prove it to be false. And once you can't prove it to be false anymore, then basically you can essentially go with the idea that, yeah, there is something there that's actually true. And because he won't let it, there's no studies that are allowed on it. People are just basically going, well, we can't verify anything on it, so we can't verify that his claims are true or not. So, and so they basically just let it go on the side and say, well, we're not going to believe you. You're just basically going with the idea that it's a belief. It's a belief system rather than actually any science that's added to this. Would you go along with that?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Go. What's your opinion on this?
Um, No, I mean, like, no, I wouldn't go along with, I think this guy is kind of ridiculous.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my um, so, yeah, no, I don't think, I really don't even think the skull is alien. Um, I think, it's probably like an archaic skull of whatever different species of human, of Homo sapien, might have existed way back when. I think we would have quite a few steps to get to before we got to an alien.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
here's my opinion. And of course, I have nothing else other than my opinion to back this up. Have you ever heard of the disease progeria?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a video
I
here.
feel like
Whoops, I meant to turn the audio off first.
Mhm.
Here's a person that is suffering a 16-year-old that's suffering progeria, and you tell me right here, what do you think?
Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it's almost identical. Exactly. Yeah. So, and that, in my opinion, is probably just a case of progeria, or maybe even something that was similar to maybe not progeria exactly, or maybe something that has a similarity to it. So,
Mhm.
and progeria, for those who don't know, is a disease that this person is only 16 years old, yet they age very, very rapidly, and you can see that the skull has an his skull, I think it's a boy, so I'm not sure. But you can when they get old like this, it's very hard to tell what their gender is. So I don't want to misgender the person there. But you can't tell with the skull gets that rounded shape. One thing that I remember about the Star Child skull is that it has a thickness to it. I don't remember if this progeria skull, people that suffer from progeria have that or not. Most people who suffer from progeria only live very short lives into their teenage years at the most. I think there's like a rare case where someone lives into their 30s, but these people, yeah, I feel sorry for them. They like I said, their lives, they usually never make it to the age of 20. So, um, and but in my opinion, it might be something like that. I think he's even when he was alive, Lloyd Pye, that is, when he would discuss this, I think even people brought that up as far as progeria. Is this a progeria disease? And I think he said he was able to come up with reasons as to why he believed it was not. But as far as that went, it was just his opinion, nothing more, because there was nothing, he never really added anything to that. So the other, how would you, what else would you add about that?
As as far as the skull, I said before, it could easily just be a deformality. And I don't know, from what I read, I didn't watch any of his videos, but from accounts I've read, none of it seems believable. Like, it didn't seem like sufficient enough evidence. Um, Regardless, he did get quite the following.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, he had a very, very loyal following of people, and there are people today that still follow what he's talked. He's also a very adamant person about the existence of Bigfoot. He believes Bigfoot is real as well. So, um, I don't. When I was a kid, I used to think there was the possibility of Bigfoot. As an adult, there hasn't been any major discoveries or any. If there's a Bigfoot, there should be able to find leftovers, skeletal remains, something. But there hasn't been any major findings in that area. So I'm not so much anymore in the belief that Bigfoot is real. How would you
They
feel about
have they have one here in Austin.
Oh, really?
A
Where?
Yeti, not a Bigfoot.
A Yeti? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is just the Alaskan Bigfoot, no?
Right. Yeah. I think the Yeti also appears is supposed to exist in Asia as well. I'm pretty
Mhm.
so yeah.
Arctic Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
yeah, they have one at the Museum of the Weird here in Austin.
let me see. I'm sure that's scientifically accurate too, right?
Yep.
Now, with Lloyd Pye, one of the things he would do when I was trying to watch when I did watch his videos when he was still making them, he would talk about the idea that this was a crossbreed between alien and human DNA. One of the things that I find to be highly flawed with that logic is the fact that aliens would even have DNA, because DNA that automatically assumes that DNA is universal across anywhere in the universe. I guess it's
Mhm.
there's no proof that DNA would ever evolve anywhere else in the universe. It's in fact, if you talk to any scientist, any evolutionary scientist, DNA is one of the most remarkable, complex things to ever evolve on this planet. And the idea that it just automatically evolves anywhere on any other planet, you have no idea. We have no idea. And
Mhm.
so, like Carl Sagan would make statements such as the fact that all life on this planet, plants, animals, have DNA, and you'd be more likely to, if you to be able to procreate with a petunia. I think is what he used to say, rather than an alien life form, because alien life wouldn't have anything that was anything resembling us, because it would most likely have evolved in a completely different way. And
Yeah.
the arguments that alien DNA even exists without any proof really makes his argument fall flat, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying aliens can have DNA, but it's just such a highly complex, naturally occurring thing that the idea that something that complex could form somewhere else is highly, you're getting really out there. Life would evolve in different ways on different planets based on, the atmosphere, the environment, gravity, the sun, the sun it has, everything. And so all that would play, into that factor. So
Mhm.
that was an argument that I feel was just made everything way too weak. So how do you feel about that?
Well, what if an alien was capturing ancient humans and doing all kinds of genetic experiments on them? I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but I don't really have an argument. Uh, no, you're right.
There,
I didn't consider that. I don't think whenever you talk about I don't think when you talk about life existing in other places, like people stop to consider how different it would be. Humans are very narcissistic that way.
and the other thing is that when you say that narcissistic, that's very, very true, because a lot of times people automatically assume aliens are going to have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And as who's the other scientist I like to quote a lot, Neil deGrasse Tyson has stated, the vast majority of life on this planet doesn't even have two eyes, a nose, or a mouth. So why would alien life even have that? So it's just because we have that doesn't mean that alien life is going to resemble us in any way, shape, or form. So
Yeah,
uh,
especially not enough to create like um, some kind of like other species or hybrid species.
mhm. Now, it's interesting that you talked about that. There's a movie. It's actually one of my favorite science fiction movies. It has two different titles. I'm going to bring this up real quick. Whoops, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to type the title in here. It's a movie that came out, I think it was 1967. It's actually a very slow-paced movie. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
here, right here. Oh, it's called. Okay, here we go. This is. I'm not gonna play because I don't want to get any copyrights. The Quatermass Experiment, I'm sorry, Quatermass in the Pit is the original title. This is right here. When it was released in the United States, though, they didn't know. They figured it was a British movie.
Mhm.
Um, no, they figured not too many people know who Quatermass was, so they've changed the American title to 5 Million Years to Earth. So, the movie it's very, when you said the experiments on humans, that was what this movie was about. Aliens, actually specifically aliens from Mars, came to
Mhm.
Earth and altered our ancestors so that they could be more intelligent. And what they do is they unearth this big blue thing. This is a very bad copy of the movie, so it's very fuzzy. Let me see if I can find another image here. Yeah, this is really bad. Basically, there was a big ship that was unearthed while they were building a subway, and they found the alien ship inside. This is them exploring the insides of the alien ship, and basically, they found these prehistoric humans skulls that had been from primates that were really enhanced from the other ones around them. So it's a very good movie. Like I said, I'm not, obviously it's just science fiction, so I love, even though it's not plausible, but it's fun to watch. I still, even though it's science fiction, I still love this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, this movie if you're looking for something it's a thinking movie, it's very much a thinking person's movie. So if you want to have a movie that challenges your mind about things, and this would be a movie. There's not a lot of action at all. It's more talking than anything else. But this is a movie that does cover the idea of aliens being coming down and manipulating DNA and things like that of humans and altering them to be more intelligent. So the it's called Quatermass in the Pit. That's the original title. So, but anyway, I'll bring this back over here. The other thing I've noticed is a lot of times people who believe that aliens have come to Earth, and maybe I've said this before, if I do, forgive me, but they oftentimes will create a scenario that's very similar to what you hear in the Bible, like the creation of mankind, and the aliens take on the existence of a godlike existence of sorts, and the aliens came down and bestowed intelligence onto humans through through changing of DNA or altering or whatever. And I've heard that a lot with people who believe that somehow aliens were responsible for humans being more intelligent. And Lloyd Pye was one of those people. He actually believes that there was some sort of alteration of people in the past by aliens. And what he does is he uses like other primates, like apes and monkeys, and he shows like the evolution of the foot, and the human foot is just too different, he says, compared to a primate's foot. And so there must be, based on evidence like that and other things, there must have been some sort of evolutionary step that was skipped over because aliens came down and enhanced our ancestors to what they are today. And of course, he doesn't offer any evidence to back that up. It's just strictly a belief, but it does fall in line with what you were saying.
Yeah, I can't with that theory. That's such a crackpot theory. I don't know, especially because I hear in creationism versus evolution all the time. Like people are like, oh, well, if you look at a monkey, and it's like we're talking about evolution of species here. Like if our species has changed significantly in the past millions of years, why do you think primates have stayed exactly the same? First of all, I'm sure every species has evolved. Like that's how that works. So boo to that theory. And then secondly, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. So like an alien, like the genetic involvement of an alien would like not only merge with humans, but like somehow vastly change like the anatomical structure. I don't know. It's ridiculous too.
Yeah. Well, I agree. There's two different versions, though. There's ones where they say the aliens combined their DNA with our DNA, our ancestors' DNA, and there's also one where they just said they came down and just outright modified human DNA without actually without combining the two together. They just modified it. So I've heard two different scenarios, but yeah.
I feel like the second one would be more likely. That's the crackpot theory, I'd believe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you don't buy. I don't buy into it either. But there are a lot of people out there, and you can find them. And to me, it just seems like these are people that have. I'm not religious myself, and I'm not. If people are religious, I'm not. Trying to say anything bad about religion, but these other people just seem like they've given up on religion, and they're looking for another way to, to have a religion in their life by finding other ways to. What's the word I'm looking for? It's something else that becomes a surrogate to their religion. So it's a surrogate religion, so to speak. They want to give up on Christianity because they don't think that's real. So they start looking at this, and this becomes their new surrogate religion. They start believing this instead of what's taught in Christianity or any other religion. And that's what it comes across as to me. And you can see the similarities, human beings rising up and, a deity of sorts, or which would be in this case, aliens, help the humans achieve more and all that. And that's what it comes across as. And so when I start to hear stories like that, I just fade out and go, okay, you can believe what you want. That's cool. I don't believe it, but that's cool. And there's no way to debate them because there's no way to debate religion. If someone believes something that's their faith, and I respect their faith, I'm not going to try to debate them at that point. I'm just going to let them, I'm not going to try to denounce them. It's the only time I start to debate people is when I feel they're trying to coerce people into thinking in a certain way, or in unscrupulous ways, or they're trying to profit off of it, or they're trying to make a name for themselves. That's when I'll start to debate the people, because that's when I think they're doing something wrong. And I think Lloyd Pye kind of falls into that category. I think he was trying to maybe make a name for himself in some way, or maybe exploit this in some way for whatever reason. Maybe not for profit, or maybe just for notoriety. I don't know. But whatever it is, it seemed like he was trying to do it for some other reason. So I wouldn't chastise anyone who wants to believe him. I just chastise the man himself for that. For this.
I think he was trying to start an army of star children or whatever. Because I ran into someone.
Oh yeah, you're gonna tell me this. Yes.
Whilst in the alien section of Half Price books. So given my setting, maybe I asked for this encounter. But this lady, she was around my age. But we started talking about some of the books I was picking up. She was asking me if I believed in aliens, if I believed in star children, or I don't know, something astronomical, clairvoyance or something like that. Just a lot of things. But so her interpretation of what star children were reincarnations of our alien ancestors in modern human bodies.
Okay.
Yeah. So I looked on the internet, and on the internet, I looked it up, and that is a thing too. Apparently, it's a widely accepted belief that people think, their souls are from the Andromeda galaxy or something, and they're just stuck here on Earth in Earth bodies.
I've heard that too. Yes, I've heard similar stories. And what's the word? There's another one where it's not souls per se, but their mind can leave their body. What's that term called?
Astral traveling or astral projection.
I think it's that. I think it's that. Yeah, I think that's it. And they can see at other locations and other worlds and things like that. Of course, I don't believe that either, but that's fine. If people want to believe that, that's fine and everything. So, but I'm not gonna. I've also heard, as far as that what we go. Was there anything else you had to say? Because I don't want to interrupt what you had to say. Was there anything else you added to that?
No, nothing super important. She did have like a whole backstory, but I don't think it's relevant.
Did she believe that she's had an experience?
Yes, she believes that she is a star child. She's from a galaxy, she said, almost 15 billion light years away from here.
Wait, hold on. You said 15 billion light years?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, because that's I don't even know if you can go that far.
I don't either.
Okay.
I wasn't invested.
Okay.
So lady from Half Price Books, if you watch this video now, you know. Yeah, she's distant galaxy. She is from a distant galaxy. It started off as an intelligence gathering mission that she was here, and she fell in love with the art and the nature of humans, and now this is where she'll be spending the rest of her human life and stuff like that. So needless to say, I was not totally, by this time I was very deep in Google.
You were very what? I'm sorry.
Very deep in Google. I was very, very much on my phone.
So you obviously didn't believe what she was saying, though.
No, I think she might be schizophrenic.
Okay.
But no, I don't believe it. But I do think that's another interesting segue from the whole idea that aliens are existing. And I don't know if you remember several weeks ago when we started having this conversation, I was saying how interesting it is, just the amount of influence these conspiracy theories have.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there are so many I agree. Yeah, as far as the conspiracy theories go, I mean, there's when it comes to aliens, you're talking about what specifically to aliens at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, the how yeah, basically the government is basically hiding things in Area 51 and things like that. And the now one of the things I always find funny about Area 51, maybe this isn't the case anymore, but people used to say Area 51 was top secret, no one knew where it was, but obviously everyone knows where it is. And that and the Pentagon are probably the two most popular, well-known military sites in the entire planet. So, and you could all you do is type it in Google and say, "Where's Area 51?" They'll show you exactly where it's at. So, um, but the conspiracy. Oh, who's talking about conspiracies? Have you um read anything or watched anything about Bob Lazar? Since you brought that up.
No, who's Bob Lazar?
Oh, Bob Lazar. Okay, let's bring Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar is a man who claims he worked for Area 51. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, here we go. I'll bring him up. A lot of people believe that there's some truth into what he said. Here's Bob Lazar. Um, his stories started back, I believe, in the 1980s. So he's been around for a while. Um, he was George Knapp, I believe, is the person who originally brought attention to Bob Lazar.
Mm-hmm.
George Knapp was I think that's who it is. He used to be, or still is maybe, a news reporter for a Las Vegas TV station. So he brought attention to it, and that's what brought recognition to this guy right here is Todd. What's his name? He's a psychologist. He analyzes people, so he's pretty good. And so Bob Lazar's on the right. The Todd, what's his name, is on the left. So it's two different people right there. They look kind of similar though. I'm trying to see if I can find a good picture of Bob Lazar. Basically, the he claims that when he was at Area 51, he saw aliens or alien spaceship. I don't know if he actually saw aliens, but he did say he saw alien spaceships. He saw ships that were designed for small creatures to operate. There's a specific element that didn't we hadn't found yet. It was like I want to say 151 or something like that. I don't remember which number. You know, if someone in the comments hears me, they can always correct me, of course. But he was it was on our charts, our element charts, but we hadn't actually discovered it yet because we had no evidence that it existed. He claims that the aliens have found it or discovered it or whatever, and the ships that uh, he was able to he came out of there, but when people started to question him, his background, his education, no one could verify any of the stories he said. I think they would have verified that he actually did work there, maybe, but there was questions as to whether or not the school he went to was real. And at that point, people started saying that, well, the government was trying to hide him, and that's where the conspiracy part came in. That they were trying to hide the fact that he existed, so they erased his school records. And you're like, okay, then you start to go, okay, well, I don't really buy. You know, that's when you start to lose respect for the guy.
Yeah.
And George Knapp is not moved on to become like he hosts Coast to Coast. You're familiar with Coast to Coast AM? Used to be hosted by Art Bell. Eventually, George Knapp started hosting the show as well. So he's obviously George Knapp was very much into the idea that aliens have visited Earth. So that's why he promoted it, and he was in a position where he was able to do that because he was on a TV station as a news reporter, and the station allowed him to do that. So that's how Bob Lazar even became relevant. If it wasn't for him, Bob Lazar would just be somebody that no one even heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So, and who's the other? Oh, I can't remember. There are people that study flying saucers and the possibility of aliens visiting Earth that I do respect, even though I don't believe them. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
So you don't believe in aliens, right?
I don't believe it. I believe that there's a possibility of alien life out there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that there's no strong enough evidence to say that they've actually visited Earth, is what I'm saying. So
God, yeah.
So I'm not, but all I need is just show me some strong evidence, some or proof or whatever. Fine, I'm not close to the idea that they haven't been here. I just want something stronger than just people saying things. We got to have more than that. We have more than a fuzzy camera image or something.
It's always fuzzy.
As Neil deGrasse Tyson points out, everybody has very clean cameras on their. Everybody does, and yet we can't seem to get any nice, clean images of the aliens that are visiting Earth. So, but there are people out there, and that are that do believe that aliens have visited Earth. And even though I disagree with what they say, I actually respect those people because I do believe that they're sincere in what they say. So even though I might disagree with somebody, it doesn't mean I fully respect. Bob Lazar is not one of those people. I do not respect him. I think that there's something else going on there. I did hear that he had been arrested for some sort of prostitution thing back in the 90s or something. So that still shouldn't discredit him, of course, but
Yeah, I mean, who wasn't arrested for prostitution back in the 90s?
But still, I mean, it does say what he's done some shady things at that point. So, but yeah, Bob Lazar is someone to check out. I would keep an open mind, of course, when you watch his videos. So I would definitely recommend this video right here at the very. Oh, one second, I don't even have it up on the screen here. Sorry. There we go. This guy right here. Sorry, I thought I had it up there. This guy right here, Bob Lazar, mental health and personality. This guy right here, Todd. What's his name? So. That would definitely recommend this video right here. I have not seen it yet, but I know this guy. He's really good at analyzing people and showing if there's any truth there to what they're saying. So, here's Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about it. Of course, Joe Rogan. He actually had Bob Lazar on his show. So, but Stanton. Okay, one second. There's the other guy I was thinking of that I do respect. I'll bring him up. I just remembered his name. Stanton Friedman. Okay, he died recently too. This is a guy. He's often talked to. He had lectures concerning flying saucers. He almost came across as a preacher, talking to his church, like a people, like almost like he was a priest at a church, and the people that he would talk to were like his congregation. That's how he talks. But I like I said, I do believe. I don't believe. I do respect the guy, Stanton Friedman. I do believe that he honestly believed what he was talking about. I don't think he was trying to con anybody. So that's a person I would respect. And if you were looking for something for a positive point of view that aliens have possibly visited Earth, I would definitely watch Stanton Friedman. So, not like I said, I'm not saying I don't believe everything, but I still, he's someone I believe is really committed to what he's. I think he passed on within the past year or two, so it wasn't too long ago. But anyway, how's anything to add on to that?
No, I was actually just thinking about while you were talking that is it why is it that whenever people conceive of aliens, they think of like a hypersentient species? It's like vastly more advanced than our own.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point. I guess maybe a lot of people point there's the idea that they watch too many science fiction movies and that's influencing. Another idea is that is because if they have the ability to come to our planet, somehow they must be more highly evolved because they'd have
I mean, but we have the ability to go to other planets. I don't know that that's fair.
Yeah, it's true. And the other thing that when they talk about aliens is they don't explain how they're able to get past the idea of traveling faster than light. People make speculation, but there's never been any proof that you can go faster than the speed of light. They'll say wormholes. There's the possibility of that, but there's never been any proof that that should actually be done. So explain how these aliens are supposedly getting from another part of the galaxy to here, because that's not possible within a lifetime. So, and that's when they start making excuses that they're more intelligent, they have more advanced technology, they might, but
Gotcha.
so I don't know. And also the idea that sometimes they have mind powers, and I'm not sure where the mind power thing comes in. That often seems to me like it's more like they've been watching too much Star Trek or something.
Well, that comes from like the whole the whole idea that we're only utilizing maybe at most 30% of our brain capacity, and that if we were ever able to access the entirety of our brain, we'd achieve like psychic or near psychic abilities.
Oh yeah, that's a myth, by the way. I'm sorry to say. I'd looked into that.
I'd
We
like to think that too, but
I looked it up. When I was a kid, I was told it was 10%. We only utilize 10% of our brain. So I looked it up. Basically, we utilize 100% of our brain, just not necessarily all the time. That's the way.
mhm.
So the idea that we're only using part of our brain, if you think about it, wouldn't make any sense for the brain to evolve to that point anyway. Why would the brain evolve and then we wouldn't be able to access the part that isn't giving us this ability? So that's the whole idea behind it. But there's several. I can't do it. I can't describe it best in a good way. There's obviously other videos that can describe it better, but it is a myth about not using 100% of our brain. I have seen some people say, well, we don't use 100% of our brain all the time, and I think that might be true. We don't
Mhm.
necessarily use it all the time, but we do use all of the brain. So it's not like anything's not going unused. It's just not maybe not all the time at every single moment. So, but yeah, I can't. I wish I could give a better answer on that, but I do remember looking that up a few years back about the 10%. Like I said, for me, it was the 10% mind myth. I was told that when I was a kid by my mom and dad, at least by my mom, that we only use 10% of our brain. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Then how did the other 90% even get there in the first place? I mean, if we're all evolved from lower primates, then why would that 90% just evolve anyway? And we just can't use that. Doesn't seem to make any sense. So
Yeah, that's true. Um, my mom debunked that theory for me.
you kind of
She's
broke up with it. Say it again. I'm sorry. You broke up.
oh, I said my mom, she kind of debunked that theory.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, no, because she brought up how the smartest man in the world couldn't use his arms and legs, so it's impossible to think that all of that extra brain power would be able to give you more ability. And I was just like, that's fair.
Yeah, if you go to what are the doctors that deal with the brain? I forget what they're called, but they can tell you that those are the videos that'll tell you exactly how much of the brain we use at any given time. So
Yeah,
so
I think you just use yeah, different parts of the brain have different functions.
right. So
So
but what is it? I'm trying to think. Was there anything else about Lloyd Pye? Those are the things I remember. As far as his Bigfoot stuff, I couldn't find very many videos about that, unfortunately. I do know that he believed in it, but I think there were other people that were more prominently discussed it than him. But he was still one of the fervent believers that it was real. So, as far as the what'd you say? There was a Yeti in the Museum of the Weird. What would you call
yes,
that?
yes, we do have have a Yeti in the Museum of the Weird in Austin. I have seen it.
is it is there are people allowed to take pictures of that?
No, you're not allowed to take pictures of it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah.
No, maybe someone snuck a picture, but no, they have this huge ice box that they would lead you to believe is a cryogenics box, where they have an entire frozen Yeti.
Here's somebody that went to the museum right here. Is this it?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
It's hard to tell because the thing is so small.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find. I don't want to get a copy. This is kind of a popular channel, so you might have copyrights on this one, so I gotta be very careful.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, that looks real. I believe that to be real.
You're not gonna tell me Nosferatu isn't real.
I won't even try.
Yeah, I draw the line there. Vampires are real. We have those in Austin too.
I have heard that there are people that actually consume blood in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they do that, but they need to for some reason. So or they think they need to anyway. I don't know if they really do, but yeah,
I
I'm not.
who knows?
There we go. I'm not gonna scan through this too much. So I'll just yeah. I
That
don't.
picture was definitely there. The rest of the pictures I cannot verify.
Okay. Well, I believe it. I stand corrected. Yeti is real, and it's not the
Mhm.
name of the weird. Just go check it out for yourself, everybody. So, now, did you have anything else you want to add? Did you want to talk about, or did you want to start wrapping everything up?
I wanted to check on the question again
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely, absolutely. Let's go back to that. Give me a second here. There we go. Have not refreshed the screen yet. There we go. 154 votes. Wow, 74% say yes. Aliens have visited Earth. We're 12% with no, 6% with they are an alien, and 8% with they don't care. So let's look at the answers we got here. We got, was that Brayan? Okay. If you're an alien, how is it like in space or wherever you're living on Earth? uh, the Danky, was that Dankity Dank? I'm not sure. I can't read that. Sorry. They probably did, but personally think aliens are in space. I have a feeling they live somewhere in Earth or something that we don't know about somehow. Okay. And
I've always been very fond of the theory that aliens live within the outer crust of the earth, like they're underground.
outer crust. What do you mean? Explain that. What do you mean exactly? I'm missing what you're saying. You mean on
So
Earth itself?
yeah, like closer to Earth's core.
Oh,
There's lots of speculation that alien life comes from Earth's core.
well, then wouldn't be aliens then, would it? Or
Well, okay, so technically alien is just anything different, right?
well, I mean, when I mean alien life, I guess I meant from extraterrestrial. I should. That's what
Yeah.
I.
See,
So
too many science fiction movies.
okay, and there are people that have claimed they've seen flying saucers underwater, under the ocean.
Hmm.
I don't, is that something you're talking about, or is that something you have not heard of yet?
No, that's definitely along the lines of what I'm talking about. Deep in the bowels of the internet, there's lots of talk about it, especially like undersea life. The reason undersea life looks so alien is because it evolves from an alien species that inhabits Earth's core and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so these aliens would technically be of Earth, though, and you're saying that they evolved on Earth?
I guess so. That's the theory.
Hmm. Okay. All right. That's
Um,
go ahead.
I was just trying to think, unless they came from outer space and then burrowed their way into the planet. But
Okay.
why would they do that?
The you ever seen the 2005 version of War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
That's what they did in that movie. The aliens came to Earth. They buried their ships like millions of years in the past, and then they, for some reason, in the movie, they decided that they were going to come back and unbury their ships and come back and invade Earth and take over Earth for some reason. So when you said that, that reminded me of that movie. So
We mentioned, and I think I mentioned in another episode how much I hate Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, if you ever watch this video, now you know.
I actually like that movie, but yeah, he can be quite annoying. I agree. So the movie is kind of weak in some ways, but it's actually kind of interesting in other ways. So
Mhm.
it but yeah, the idea that the aliens came down to Earth and the that at the that what you're talking about does stem from science fiction. The idea that the aliens came down and live inside the Earth. Like that, there's an example of a movie that discussed that. Now, of course, the original H.G. Wells novel, they did not come to Earth and bury their ships. They came from Mars and invaded Earth. So
Mhm.
they changed that for the movie, of course. So, but that's one of the things I was talking about. How a lot of times people will watch science fiction or read science fiction, and they'll use that, and they'll start to that will form the basis of what they believe aliens would do a lot of times. So
Mhm.
it also stems back to the idea before people started believing aliens, they would back in the 1800s, it wasn't aliens but actually spirits, because aliens weren't really considered a thing at the time. So what happened is over time spirits and other like ghost like entities were eventually replaced with aliens, because aliens became more believable than spirits and godlike entities. So, and that's it just over time, each culture, each generation, or the generations as the time goes on, they have something that it becomes more believable in that culture or society. So,
Mhm.
and that's why you didn't have aliens back in the 1800s. You had different, like I said, ghosts and everything and other kinds of entities. So it's just being replaced with something that becomes more believable in the society that we're in. So hey, Jesus or Jesus San Andreas says the reptilians are already among us. Amiga, oh my God. So
Yeah, like Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne,
Avril Lavigne. I'm not sure what that is. I'm
the
sorry.
singer. The singer Avril Lavigne. There was a running theory back in the early 2000s that she was a lizard person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
Nicholas Cage too.
Nicolas Cage. So, do you believe in the reptilian aspect with David Icke? Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't, but I do know what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, bah humbugs on all the reptilian aspects. Even though I'd like to believe that if alien life is in fact existing and did visit Earth, that they would be reptilian.
Okay. The
Mm.
this I'm going to bring this up real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off there. This is a movie called They Live by John Carpenter. It came out in
Mhm.
1988, science fiction movie where aliens come down and they're basically taking over Earth, and they have kind of a reptilian type form. You can see
Yeah,
images.
I should have worn my Obey shirt.
Oh, have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know it already. Okay. Uh, Basically, David Icke was a TV sports, I want to say a sports commentator or a sports broadcaster in over in the United Kingdom, and
Mhm.
he basically got high on whatever he was smoking. And literally, I'm not joking when I say it, he actually admitted to this. He got high on something and he saw the movie They Live and said it was based on that's what's really going on out there. Uh, so that's what he's the one that was. I'm not saying he's the one that created the idea of reptilians living on Earth, but he's one that really is you could give credit to for trying to promote it and bringing it into the mainstream in a lot of ways, because he had a lot of influence for his position. So I love the movie, but I don't believe David Icke at all. So uh, let's see if you watch this.
I love the subliminal messaging aspect of the movie. That's probably my favorite part.
Oh yeah, that's great. I
Yeah.
love that too. Let's see if I misspell his name. David Icke. I swear to misspell his last name. David Icke. Um, he's all into the conspiracy stuff. That could be a whole video on itself with David Icke. So he just goes
Mhm.
on and he's the conspiracy. He's the one of the king of conspiracies. I'm sure there's several out there, but he's definitely one of the leaders of the whole conspiracy idea or movement, if you could call it that. So,
Mhm.
okay. So, did you want to wrap everything up?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, let me hit this one more time just for fun, just to see what happens. No, we only got 7 more votes and we're still the same. So, okay. So that wraps up our show, primarily talking about aliens, conspiracies, touching on Bob Lazar, a little bit of David Icke, a lot on Lloyd Pye, the Star Child skull. So, if anyone has any questions, comments, leave them in the below, and we'll try to cover them. We'll do another show. We can maybe talk about more of that. Even do maybe a whole episode, like I said, on David Icke.
I
So,
would love to do a whole episode on David Icke. I saw the coronavirus conspiracy video while you were scrolling, and I was like, oh, yeah.
yeah, you'll find many conspiracies with David Icke, and you'll just keep on going. He has conspiracy for probably everything out there. So he has a loyal following of people, just like Lloyd Pye. In fact, his following is probably more dedicated to him than Lloyd Pye's following is to the Lloyd Pye. So
Mhm.
But okay. Well, thanks everybody, and I enjoyed the show, and Sean and I will be back very soon. All right, hang on a second here.